everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Manga Batman. This is sort of a Japanese version of Batman, manga style, from Bat Manga. I pre this guy from the McFarlane toy store. He arrived today, so let's take a look. As you see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. DC Multiverse, Batman. McFarlane Collector's Edition. Here he is in the package. We have a batarang, a little bat rope, I don't know, telescope. Can't tell what that thing is until I open it. And it looks like 6 hands. Display stand, collector's card, and display stand for your collector's card. One side of the package, Collector's Edition, Batman from Bat Manga. This is the 16th figure in the McFarlane Collector's Edition subline. Other side simply says Batman. At the bottom, there's this barcode, if that helps anybody. And on the back, here he is, posed up, manga style. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting all 3 of these figures from the McFarlane toy store. Utilizing the bundle discount and the coupon code, even after shipping and taxes, I got them for less than retail. Now, just like all the other Collector's Edition figures, these guys have Platinum Chase variants. Sergeant Rock looks like a toy soldier, all green. Connor Kent Superboy, he has an L in his shirt, like the Lex Luthor version. And the Manga Batman has it black and white. On the hunt for all of those. In the meantime, let's check these out. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. We have 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, a large batarang, a bat rope and grapple, display stand, collector's card, and display stand for the collector's card. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Manga Batman. Manga are basically Japanese comics. Anime is Japanese animation. A lot of time manga gets adapted to anime, but they're different things. There's a Platinum Chase variant to this guy, and it's pretty much in black and white. Now, this figure here is based off a manga comic from the 60s. Honestly, I wasn't even aware this was a thing. The collector's card says, there was a manga magazine in Japanese serialized 53 chapters starring The Dark Knight, which were all written by Hiro Kuwata. Now, I don't think I have that in my collection, and I have a pretty large comic collection, so I'll have to track down if they possibly have reprints or a collected version of that. It said they're very sort of unheard of and obscure until Bat Manga, The Secret History of Batman in Japan, came out in recent history. That being said, let's take a look at him. And this Batman looks to be done on the Nightfall body, and we'll check that out in depth later. And I'm happy they used a Nightfall body, as I really like that Batman body. The Hush one's nice, but just a little bit too big. So his head here, short-eared cowl, looks like kind of a smiling face. It's very exaggerated, sort of animated, but not what I'm familiar with. It looks kind of campy. It screams manga. We have the face, and there's definitely some hints of Adam West here. The black on the front, the large eyebrows, sort of adapted to manga style. The bat symbol's a little bit different, but it's on the oval, etc. Utility is good. Pouches all over it. The Nightfall body. It's sort of a gray and gray suit, although maybe a hint of blue in that gray. But it looks good. It's a pretty cool variant on this body. Same cape, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane display stand we've seen a bunch of times before. It's a perfect circle, but the Collector's Edition has a little silver DC at the bottom. It's very thin, very basic. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Batman done in that sort of manga style. Robin next to him, some Japanese letters up top. McFarlane Collector's Edition. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And it doesn't do much for me, but if you want to display your collector's card next to your figure, you have a stand to do so. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 6 of them, 3 right hands and 3 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And then his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands. And his third pair of hands, his right hand is a gripping hand with a trigger finger, and his left hand is a pointing hand. Here's his batarang. It's a large, red, oversized batarang. Looks good, just very large. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to throw that batarang. And finally, we have this bat rope grapple thing. You can see a little hook that's going to go on top of the building. And then you have this long string for Batman to climb up. Kind of 60s style. Here's a look at this Batman holding that bat rope. Now I wanted to check out the differences and similarities and reuse between this manga Batman and the Nightfall Batman. And it's pretty much the exact same figure with a different paint job and a slightly different head. So, like I said, the heads are different. The expression, the entire head, entire sculpt, length of the ears, etc. As we go further down, the chest is the same, of course. They painted it or redid the bat symbol. Stomach's the same. The belt is considerably different. We have the 90s style capsule belt here, a bunch of pouches here. Looks like the diaper piece is the same, just swapped a different belt on there. Arms, hands the same. Legs the same. Cape's the same. So it's 100% the same figure, besides the head and the belt. And of course, the paint job. McFarlane has actually utilized this body 6 times so far. Well, 7 times if you count the platinum version of the manga Batman. I actually really like the Nightfall body, and I like all these figures. Very well done. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and its accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right at 7 inches tall, which can translate to just under 18 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.1 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, you can rotate side to side. He can look up and down about that much. Tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on ball joint goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got a butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion and covering the large gap. Shoulders a little bit loose on this guy. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate and it's going to be hinged. His torso is a ball joint. Rotate around, forward and back. Another one is waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion in the torso. Legs, complete of splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotations, minimal width there. Legs go forward, about that much. Back, not very much. Double jointed knees. That is ankles, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, to articulation. Now let's switch to an Asian type setting. Here's manga Batman holding a samurai sword. And a closer look at this Batman holding his sword. And here's this Batman next to a classic Dick Grayson, Robin the Boy Wonder. This is how they looked more or less in the Batman manga comics of the 60s. Here's a look at the manga Batman fighting the Ninja Joker from Batman Ninja. And here, fighting the Ninja Joker surrounded by Joker dragons. Here's this manga Batman standing proudly next to a couple of Batman Ninja figures. They've broken through the multiverse. The one on the left is Mattel, the one on the right, SH Figure Arts. The Mattel one is very large compared to the usual Mattel figures and fits in great with the McFarlane DC Multiverse. Here's Batman taking on Lord Deathman. Lord Deathman is an obscure Batman villain that was featured in the 60s manga a lot, and I'm pretty fond of him. I love the obscure villains. And here's Batman taking on Lord Deathman and a bunch of his henchmen. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other manga and Asian type Batman figures. Here's this McFarlane DC Multiverse 7-inch scale manga Batman, next to the McFarlane Superpowers 4-inch scale manga Batman. Here he is, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse Build-A-Figure Ninja Batman, and actually scales up perfect with the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Then, next to the SH Figure Arts Ninja Batman and Ninja Joker, and now, next to McFarlane Fortnite Skull Trooper. This guy can make a great villain for Lord Deathman, which is one of the adversaries in the manga Batman comics. Here's manga Batman, next to the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman in his helmet armor, the Gold Edition. Manga Batman is based off Japanese comics, and this armored Batman is based off the Chinese New Year. Now let's check them out with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here are all the different Batman figures that utilize the Nightfall body, and I'm going to eventually add the Platinum manga Batman to that collection. Here he is, next to some other McFarlane Batman figures. These are some older McFarlane figures, and they're all from the comics. Then, with even more Batman figures, these are a little bit more recent, and are also all from the comics. Next, with some Batman figures from different various forms of media. Now let's check them out, next to some other McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. Here he is with the rest of Wave 5, Sergeant Rock, Manga Batman, and Connor Kent Superboy. There are Platinum Chase variants of all three of them, and I'm a hunt for all of them. And here he is, next to the fourth wave of Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Penguin, Starfire, and Captain Boomerang. Then, next to the third wave of Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Superman, Captain Carrot, Batman's Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. And now, with the second wave of Collector's Edition figures, both regular and Platinum Chase variants of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. And finally, next to the first wave, we have both the regular and Platinum versions of the first appearance Superman, Abyss, and Alan Scott Green Lantern. Now the next wave I'm really excited for. That wave has Ragman, Clock King, and Joker as the Red Hood. And then the wave after that is going to be Huntress, Dark Knight Returns Batman, and a Green Lantern with a bunch of different heads. So some really cool stuff with the Collector's Edition on the horizon. Looks like they're finally improving, giving us more accessories. Now let's check them out. Next to some of their recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the second digital wave. Green Arrow, Superman, and the Atom. Here's Manga Batman, next to the most recent Platinum wave. We have Sportsmaster, Manhunter, and the new 52 Reverse Flash. Here he is, next to the Entertainment Earth exclusive Sketch Hush Batman. Then, with the new 52 Cyborg Superman, and the DC Rebirth Tim Drake Robin. And now, with the Tarte exclusive Jim Gordon and the Rookie Mega Figure, and Mr. Bloom 2-pack. Here he is, next to the Tarte exclusive Metallo and Fire. Then, with the Nightfall Batman vs. Bane 2-pack. And now, with the Dark Knight trilogy, Morgan Freeman, Lucius Fox. And finally, next to the Joker and Punchline 2-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which ones you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's this Batman, next to a container of Black Pepper. And here he is, next to some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel Batman figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts Batman figures and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a pretty cool Batman figure. I love the Nightfall Batman body, so it makes me immediately like this figure. And the Manga Batman, it's kind of fun. I had fun doing this video. The figure itself looks good, and it's fun to play around with, but it's not one I'm going to be pulling out very often, that's for sure. Sculpt and paint job, excellent, no issues there. His accessories, I like the bat rope. Batarang is way too big. His articulation is everything you would expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this guy, my first thought is, he's fun, let's give him a 7, but the truth is, I'm really not going to use this guy very often, so that's going to bump him down to probably 6.5. Fun figure, but like I said, definitely not really a necessary figure in the collection. And that being said, I'm still looking for the variant. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.